Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Meeting is now stream. Okay. Hi, good afternoon everyone. How y'all are doing? I hope you all are fine. And I hope you all are ready for a really good GAF today, where we speak on the current state of our hospitality sector. I think this GAF is very much overdue, very much overdue, given the fact that especially given the fact that we are based in the Caribbean and our prime economy is tourism. Especially in St. Martin, we have a one pillar economy which is based on tourism. So I'm very intrigued to have this conversation. As I said, I believe it's very much overdue. Our majority of our workforce, work within the tourism sector, the hospitality sector, and we have someone who knows everything, a whole guru on hospitality. I see she's laughing. A whole guru on hospitality. Ananda, I see you're laughing, but
Guru, I'm like, whoa.
yeah, I mean, listen, you're an educator. This is what you do. I know you from this. You're one of the former directors of the St. Martin Hospitality and Trade Association. I mean, what else is there to say? You know, but I really and truly hope our viewers are doing well. We hope your last week from last Thursday to now has been a very good one. And if it was not the best, I hope it gets better. Before we dive into the hospitality gap, something is weighing on me. And for persons, everyone knows the platform gaffing with Keoma, the platform, even though we're based in St. Martin, the platform, reaches out to the entire Caribbean region. We have persons who follow us who's based in the Asian continent as well as the African continent. I have persons in the US who views as well, so this is beyond us. So for the past week, 2 weeks in Guyana, I think persons already know I'm from Guyana, but I really and truly need to mention this. Wait, let me see something here. Yeah, I really and truly I really and truly, you see, Kyra Richardson says guru is an understatement. Definitely, right? Definitely. Hi, Akiba. Hi, Kyra. Hi, Brenda, Anthony. How are y'all doing? Thank you for being here. Thank you for viewing. Let me mention this. First of all, before we even dive into our scheduled gaff on the hospitality sector with Anenda Zaandam, I definitely need to highlight. Even though it's happening in Guyana, I definitely need to highlight it because it's beyond Guyana. This what is happening in Guyana is crazy. Yeah. So for the past 2 weeks, there has been a massive social unrest in Guyana, and like I cannot seem to comprehend. I understand it, but it's crazy to me. Just last weekend, there were two young boys, they were cousins, Isaiah and Joel Henry. They were, I think, persons you can look online, you will read all of the story. It's all over the world right now. But these young boys, they were cousins from Berbice, and they were basically slaughtered. They were accused of stealing coconuts, and they were slaughtered. Their fingers were cut off, their gut were ripped open, all of that stuff happened. All right. One of them were 14. I'm not too sure how old the other young man is. And with that, I think Monday, they started a protest, just like how the United States have protests with Black Lives Matter. In Guyana, they started a protest in Georgetown, and throughout the East Coast, there was a protest. And man, I'm telling you, this is crazy. It really is crazy. Uh, Today, this morning, early, there was another killing, and apparently, this is a 17-year-old young man in Ghana, of course. Harris Singh is his name, and he apparently is a grandson of the suspect uh, of Isaiah and Joel. He's a grandson of that suspect. So it seems as there is retaliation. I'm stuttering for words because I think You know, I think this is so crazy. A few days ago, let me just read something. A few days ago, I called my sister and I asked her, I said, Kishana, what do you say racism is? Would you say racism in this day and age is a strand of illiteracy in the highest level and ignorance, plain outside ignorance? You know, I lived in Guyana until I was 9 years old, and I've seen certain things, I've heard certain things, but the extremity right now is I have no words. You know, it is so much things, and it's not just about the young these young men, these victims of these crimes. You know, this goes so far back in history. And if I may, right? Growing up, I was always told, well, in the household, we're told, I'm from Maikoni. I'm from a village in Guyana, well, Ansgrove and Maikoni. All right. And growing up, my where my father lives, directly across, this is in the 50s and the 60s, right? This is a true story. Directly across from my grandfather's home, my grandmother and grandfather's home, across the road, you walk out of their yard, you enter into across the road, and you enter into another lot. And in that home were Indians, and of course my family are black, right? And those home were Indians. And the story is that my grandfather overheard black persons were, wanting to burn the home down. And after he heard that, he said, he cannot stand there and hear that and know that there are so many children living in that house and not do anything, knowing that this is what the plans were. And my grandfather actually whispered it to his neighbor next door, who were East Indians, and they brought them over to their home. And from there, my grandparents' home, from their windows, they watched their homes go up in flames. So can you imagine if my grandfather didn't go and whisper to them and get them out of that home? They all would have died. This is what brothers and sisters keepers is. I see no race. I don't, I just don't get it. We're all the same. We differ in social statuses, whatever it is, job position. Some of us are tall, fat, skinny, but at the end of the day, we are still human beings. We are still human beings. And it's very, very heart wrenching to see people's lives are being taken away this way. Regardless, I don't want to talk about the political standpoint, none of that stuff, but everything stems from something. And I'm really and truly asking everyone in Guyana to just please be careful. Please, please, please be careful, because at the end of the day, with all of this rioting, the burning of people's homes, the burning of cars, the blackening of roads, what it actually does, I understand you want to be heard. I understand all of that. But at the end of the day, it sets the country back. And maybe I need to get into a conversation where we can talk and I can learn more. But from my standpoint, I'm really and truly very, very uneasy by the social unrest that is happening in my country right now. No, I say my country because St. Maarten is my home, Guyana is my home. That's what happens when you migrate. You split between two. All right. But I have family in Ansgrove. Ansgrove had a protest on Monday as well, right through the East Coast, as I said. And I'm really praying and hoping that, I don't know, that this thing is at least contained. All right. So I just really had to get that off of my chest, really encourage my friends and my family in Guyana to be so careful, please. And I'm not, from my understanding, one of the young men, the cousins who were killed is actually one of my cousins. All right. Is actually one of my cousins. So it's painful to actually witness these things and know what uh, family members are going through. So there is solidarity to the country, to the people, and also to the parents, to the family of everyone. The two young men, Isaiah and Joel, and even Harish. Even Harish Singh, my condolences to you and to all of you, all your families. No one deserves none of this. No one deserves this. All right? Absolutely no one deserves this. So, I had to get that out. So thank you guys for hearing me out in this one. And let's go right back into the GAF. All right. So Anenda Van Zaan. I think she needs no introduction. I personally think so, but she definitely needs to introduce herself. Let us know who you are. Let us know your background. And yeah, let us know about hospitality. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So first, it's the most common mistake. One of the first two common mistakes is that people usually mispronounce my last name or first name, which is fine. We used to it now, but my name is Anenda Zaandam. So I know that people want to attach me to Van Dam, and I would love to be, affiliated with a very famous dude, but we're not getting that kind of money, so he's not family until further notice. So that's just my first and my last name. I am by profession an educator. I am also a certified hospitality business advisor. And my entire line of business as an entrepreneur, as an educator, as anything that I speak on in general is hospitality, or aka to be of service to the greater good, humanity, etc. Sounds very esoteric, but I live in the realm of treating people in a particular way so that they feel better about the interaction and themselves. I believe in wanting to leave a positive mark wherever I am. And so I try to do that by either educating or simply just being up for somebody's growth. And I really do like hospitality. I think it's one of the most fantastic ways to pretty much anything you want to do and all the things that you love. All the things that we love are in hospitality. It's either you're enjoying or you're working for them. So
yeah.
Having said that, educator, entrepreneur, mentor to some, mommy to my son, and everybody in one. I'm one of those Renaissance women that does everything, and I invent myself continuously. So this, I don't know which incarnation we are on, but this is one I'm liking. I'm fabulous, flawless. I'm doing stuff, so I'm gonna keep this one for a while.
Ah, great, great, great. I see Michelle Warner is here. She's highlighting you, Anenda, with hearts, hearts, hearts. So, hey, Micheline, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. So, Anenda, so what I'll do is I'll pretend as if I know nothing. All right. And what I want you to do is educate us because, hey, surviving Josiah, hey, how are you doing? I see you. Don't worry, I see you. What is hospitality? What is hospitality?
Okay, so first and foremost, hospitality, if we're going to get into it, very, very base sense, hospitality comes from the Latin word hospice, which is to serve, to take care of, to welcome. And don't paraphrase me on that. That's what I'm pulling out of my mental archive after teaching this class for so long, because I've moved past that definition of it. I've moved past looking at the origin of it and look what hospitality truly means. And it means to actually be hospitable to somebody else. No, you're not spitting on nobody, and no, they're not going to the hospital. What you are doing is actually providing a service, being a service for somebody else who is either doing that by exchanging finances with you or exchanging some form of an experience. Now, that is in its core definition when you strip away all of the wonderful decor. That's what hospitality is. As I said, initially, it's down to service and the type of service you provide. When we take it and start to bring it out into the realm of where we are today, hospitality has become a multi-billion-dollar industry where any form of financial exchange for service within a leisurely life sector or within a relaxed atmosphere is considered hospitality, aka your hotels, your restaurants, your bars, etc. Really goes much, much further than that, because you are looking at each component within those places and each how do you say, function or person providing that service. It is a collective agreement of a lot of people in a particular industry, food, service, and beverage industry, who have decided to make as the norm, we are going to give the best service and treat people in the best way that we can so that they can enjoy the experience of our product. That's the bottom line of it. Very cut dry, very clinical explanation.
Okay, so let me just say two words. Hospitality basically is tourists coming to your island, more or less. Let me just say it like that, so persons will know. The Caribbean is the archipelagos is did I say sun, sun, sea. This is like our marketing. And tourists come to our island to enjoy what they do not have in their country, I would say. Would you agree with me? Right? But at the same time, over the course of
Yes.
the
Yes,
years,
correct.
because we are considered exotic, over the course of the years, it became our prime source of income, our prime economic pillar, right? What would you say about that?
Correct.
Of us having to, well, there was a boom, definitely. For many years, there was a boom of tourism. And we took advantage of the boom, and we were thinking, oh my God, this is how it's going to be forever. People will always want to travel and have relaxation, have vacations, you know? So, and now here we are in the height of COVID, and everyone is like, oh my God, we're all caught with our pants down. What can you add when it comes to that?
First, I don't know why anybody's surprised that we're here. We've been saying this for some time. Just want to get that out. I wanted to get that off my chest. Good. Now, that was the little I told you so. In all reality, we as hospitality expert persons in the field have been indicating, hey, we have got to work certain core fundamentals, which in that excitement of the boom, us becoming popular and being the third best destination in the Caribbean at one point, we got caught up in it. We had what every human being thinks is going to last forever. There were no contingency plans. Could we have foreseen at time that the contingency plans would have to be built in such a way that we would meet COVID? No. But we didn't build any form of a foundation to the service that we were providing or the product that we were doing at that point. As a matter of fact, we did the exact opposite. We started to build on that product that we already had without clearly defining the product and clearly defining who would be working in that industry, how they would be working in that industry, and how we would protect the products in Maarten. And with that comes the fact that nobody really could define the products in Maarten. Because we went with, just as you said before, we got sand, we got sea, we got sun, we have some entertainment, we got somebody on a steel pan, and we got barbecue. We set. And that might have worked 30 years ago, but people are now able to travel everywhere at any given point in time on a budget. You go to Japan if you want to, if you save for a whole year. There are people who know, you watch them and you go, how did you go to Dubai? This is possible now. So why are people going to choose St. Maarten? Somewhere along the line, we missed the call. We missed the red flag. Or we might have seen it and we just skipped over it. As in, we'll get that because things were really good. And we missed the moment where we would have structurized different things. I think, again, recently, just very recently with this situation, we missed a huge opportunity to take our hospitality industry by the reins and really examine it and say, okay, what needs to go? What needs to stay? How do we move further before we open our borders? Or even if we are having this sort of staggered opening of our borders, what are the parameters we are setting on moving forward? So that's where we are in a nutshell right now with regards to hospitality and how we got here. It's not all gloom doom. I'm not saying that it was all bad. It was done at the point in time when people did not have any frame of reference or didn't feel the need to move further and think about what we would do with our industry. However, about 10 years ago, or we're in 2020, so 2010, when we went over to our new status, this is one of the things that was indicated as well, as in you need to learn your tourism product. And my time at SHTA was spent most of the time sort of lamenting, and why are we not marketing this island even better than we should be? I mean, I don't understand it. And I'm not pointing fingers. Everybody has a part of lane to take in this. And that's straight from the top all the way down. We weren't utilizing the opportunities we had there because we had become complacent. And now with Corona, quarantine, and the current economic world situation, this isn't just us, this is the entire world. All of a sudden, we've hit the brick wall, we've hit the proverbial mirror, and now we have to look at each other and go, or look at ourselves, go, just as you said, well, what's really going on? Because now we have to take stock. And now at what you are seeing playing out on a daily basis today in the debates that we've had about opening, not opening, is people coming to a realization that we cannot continue the way we were doing this, but we don't know what to do either. So we're going to do what we know, which is comfortable, and then kind of ride it out. That's the way I feel that things are. But that's my personal opinion. Not an attack on people. That's the way I see it. We should have at this point said, okay, we have a problem. We know that we depend on this one pillar tourism. Everybody jump up and say, yes, but we shouldn't have been and shoulda, coulda, woulda, blah, blah, blah. We're here. That's our breadwinning situation. That's where we make our money. Good. We need to continue to make money. All right, good. What's our problem? Our problem is nobody's really traveling. So we can't get people to our shores. Okay. All right. Oh, fine. What do we do? Is this going to last forever? Is your next question? No, it's not going to last forever. Hopefully not. Okay, good. So what do we do in the meantime to prepare ourselves for when these will come back? Because it's not like they're staying away because we had a hurricane.
Yeah.
They're staying away because there's a pandemic.
Yeah.
And all of the economies have imploded. That is a severe amount of stress to put on human beings. We have seen what has happened. People on the street protesting because their haircut. We have people over here getting vexed because, I got to put on the mask. There are major arguments in supermarkets about, I have to come in, just come in for a chiclet, I need to put on a mask. It's stress on the human being. What human beings do when they're overstressed? Look for an escape. And we are the escape plan. That's what we have to understand. Our role within the tourism platform is that we are an escape plan for people who want to relax. So we need to match service that we are going to be giving to that expectation. That's the only expectation you worry about. The money will come with them. Because if they've been able to spend the money to fly down here, come here by boat, or however they made it here, and stay here for a week or two on an extended period, that means that they have the finances to be able to visit your restaurant or visit your small art and crafts, etc., etc. So getting back to your original question, as in where we are at and where we are going, right now we are in a crisis. Point blank, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. We have a hospitality problem. We have an industry problem. We need to find out or figure out and put together a plan. This ain't no more putting a committee together and having a conversation, Yeah. This is a plan, a full-fledged step-by-step plan with the right stakeholders there, experts there who can tell you exactly what's happening on the ground and what needs to happen on the ground, all while monitoring the world situation. The United States right now, we are dependent on, for a large part, for tourism, is a mess. They're not getting any better anytime soon. Do not expect it. Be going, by Christmas. No. Then people got issues, leave them over there until they figure out what they're doing, then they can come back. And they're not going to be flying. The unemployment rate is skyrocketing. The evictions are skyrocketing. There is an orange Cheeto in charge. It'd be nice today. All of this is happening. They're not going down there. So a large stream of our income is not going to be here. Then the question comes, who else is there? We should have never been in the position to go, else is there? That only now we are going, but wait, we have Caribbean neighbors. But wait, we have the whole of Latin America, although we've been making our efforts in both of these areas. We should have bigger efforts. We should have had something in place to turn around and say, this crisis hits and we realize the United States is having an issue. Let us change our marketing dollars to Latin America. Let's see what we can do there. And let's take it completely out of the realm of economic win. We are in a situation right now where everybody's going through the same crisis. And we in the Caribbean have an additional crisis on us. We have the crisis of the impending crisis, or always the impending stress of a hurricane coming. We already share a common pain as it is. And I am a firm believer that you can take pain and turn it around and morph it and make it work for you. So if we are in a common pain, if we are in a common situation, we are all dependent on this very same thing. We cannot afford anymore to operate as if we are separate entities. We are the Caribbean. That is a region, and we need to start acting like that if we're going to keep ourselves afloat until the world catches it back. Which means you're going to have to focus on your regional tourism. But the first thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to acknowledge that this is a part of your income stream. That the people that look like you and me, that the people who have an accent like you and I
Mhm.
also are able to provide economic boost. Don't get me wrong, all of us got our issues right now on the islands, and not everybody making that kind of money. But we need to understand the underlying way for us to get out of this, because this is not going to change for the next. By December, we're not out of it. Let anybody who thinks by Christmas gonna be fine, I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. I'm very realistic with that. This is another year before we catch ourselves.
Mhm.
You can compare to our, well, you can and you can't, but when you compare how long it takes us to get over a hurricane, the
Mhm.
cleanup part, not the getting our stores back
Oh
open
yeah,
with a generator, but actually in the flow of
yeah,
things. Here, my hit in 2017 is 2019. We start to cruise,
yeah, definitely.
It's 2 years after.
Mhm.
Now we are looking at a global situation. This isn't just us. So we could have gone to another and say, hey, help us out. Everybody's got the same problem.
Mhm.
And everybody's solving it at different ways. And where the majority of us have solved it, we have been left with one thing that has become very, very, very clear: the fear of what is to come next. Because every country right now that is overcoming COVID and is starting to take stock where they are is now faced with a new reality and a new direction. And the fear, what human beings have, everything that's new, we don't like change, we don't like it, is what's holding a lot of countries hostage right now. Where you're seeing this strife and this fighting coming back, the old guard letting go and the new guard coming in, and the old guard wanting to hold on to a status quo, and the new guard saying, well, you can't do that. You want to go with us. It's Gen going outside and protesting on the road, and Gen X saying, I'll drive you there, make sure you're safe. And the boomers going, all right, we're going to just watch y'all, let us what legislation you need. We are entering a new phase in the way that we operate in business, economics, in everything. And either we are on board or we are not. And as a Maarten, as an island who has been part of this, wants to be part of that and has potential, we cannot afford to play dead. We cannot afford to um, downplay what we know and what we need to know. I'm sorry, I've talked a lot. I'm going to drink now.
No, man, it's good. I'm following. You stated a point where earlier on you said we basically fed this industry. Like we put everything, all of our businesses was to serve this hospitality sector. I recall
Yeah,
I
yeah.
recall a conversation I had um in 2017, early 2018, after the hurricane. And it was basically whereby our education system, of course, we study financing allows for you can apply for various studies, but one of our prime study here on the island is hospitality. So it's as if you're recognize this, everything is basically to serve this sector, to feed this sector, right? So we go to school, you get a scholarship, you go away to study hospitality, and then you come back and you either manage a hotel or you serve drinks at a bar or something like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not discrediting it at all, definitely not. All right, because it is an industry.
No,
It
no,
is an
no.
industry. But at the end of it all, too, what I also remember and what I know, this has been the talk. And let me mention this to our viewers. I know Ananda, and we are making reference to St. Martin. But as I said earlier, this applies throughout the world, and especially in the Caribbean,
Yeah.
because this is our modern day reality. This has always been our reality. All right. So this gap goes far beyond our shores. All right. So remember that. Bear that in mind. I see Fiona, who's in Antigua. She stated she's tuned in today because she's doing hospitality. So she's here to learn. So right. So this is very key. So I also know for a fact, over the many, many years, locals felt neglected. Like, hey, what about our interests? We have this product too. When will you stimulate the local economy? And many times it's like, okay, what is the local economy? Oh, the tourism. Okay, get a taxi license and pick up tourists. Do beach share rentals. And again, I'm not discrediting that. It's business, right? But it's the primarily what our focus has been. And here it is. Here it is. The COVID has drastically seized it all. Everything is seized practically. And everyone in that layer, in that pillar, layer by layer by layer, is affected. The persons, the taxi drivers, the persons who rent these shares, the person who serves at a bar, everyone is affected. And here we are right now, we're left and we're asking, okay, how do I function? Because many persons, this is all they know, even to the casinos. Even though we have locals going to the casinos, even casino workers were put off. So having a hospitality servicing sector is good, but we also, this here is a prime, I don't want to say the prime example. I mean, we went to, can I say we went to actually like the gas chamber on this one. This is what the locals have been saying all the time. We can serve the hospitality sector, but there's other things happening here. Right now, agriculture is major in St. Martin. It's major in the Caribbean islands. Yes, in the Caribbean islands, agriculture was always present, but people like me and you were planting even more. And now at Emilia Wilson, they have like community gardens, a market day. So there are times where I think it happened once or twice already at Emilia Wilson, where persons will pick their produce, their harvest, take it there, and they will sell it. So can you imagine? And I personally, I have a friend. I will call him out here. I can't call him his real name because he wouldn't like it. But so on Facebook, he's known as Soya Dread. Soya Dread. He does his own work. You can follow him on Facebook. You will see what I'm talking about. But I buy coconut oil from Soya. I buy coconut oil from him for the past few years. All right. And I said to him, I said, you know what would be so good is if entities like the Chamber of Commerce will create programs that can teach us how to properly brand our products, how to properly promote our products, and work with local businesses to get these local products on local shelves. And then we too can also export them to neighboring islands. That too, should that have been promoted, it would have also already started to heal another form of economy, another form of economic activity. What would you say? I say a lot, but what would you say about that?
I have a good bit of things to say. Start with the beginning where you indicated that it's not only us, it's everyone. I'm going to draw a reference. I'm going to say out to another topic and come back and show you how it connects and why it is something that, why we are where we are in pertaining to that question. There is as of May 25th, there has been a worldwide movement which started with George Floyd murders and has morphed, catalyzed, and changed into an entire world movement. There have been people who are surprised at the fact that there are people outside of the U.S. that are actually joining in the fight, even though they're not physically there. There were also people, some people down here that I encountered or read about who said, but why are you even worried about something happening over there? There are some people right now who are watching and going, but why is she talking about it? You and talking about it here? I'm doing that because I'm coming to a point. The issue that we have in the United States and all around the world, and it's not only people of color, it's one group versus another group, is that there is a system in place that is creating that societal result. In the United States, very clear, there is a system in place to keep people of color from advancing. It's built into the Constitution. As beautiful as that word is said, it is built into the Constitution how the system works. Their entire policing system was invented to support the system. So that is something that people need to understand. The whole housing situation, suburbs, blah, 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 it's a system created to keep a particular group out. We come to the question now, and that's why I'm coming back to St. Martin. We are coming to the question now, why or how it is that local entrepreneurs feel neglected. Because again, here there is also a system in place to keep local entrepreneurs from advancing as fast as they need to. And most entrepreneurs will know that, will say the tax system, it's unevenly divided. It is prejudiced against local entrepreneurs, not in the sense it doesn't give you an opportunity to pay your taxes, but it gives you no form of clemency. And you are the one living here and being the brunt of the bills 365. You don't have the option to fly away for 6 months and come back, have another business over there and have this as a second business. This is your main income. There is no form of support coming from our legislators, from our high ups, from our medical institutions at all if you choose to become a sole proprietor or you want to run a business. On top of that, there is no way. There are now more options, but before and most of the time, there are very few options to finance people without them having to jump 5 million types of hurdles just to get a simple $1,000 loan to be able to just do the bare necessities to keep what they need to do. Now, I'm not saying that there are some instances now, some places now that are doing that.
Yeah.
Is one of the leading groups that is actually providing these small loans. So I definitely give them props
which
to
one?
that.
Sorry.
And there is a lot to said for having your work together.
You mentioned an entity that is currently the leading. I didn't get that. Can you repeat that? That is leading with loans?
Q Reddits.
Oh, credits.
So it's a company called Q and then Reddits behind it. They were established, I believe, right before 2016. Yeah. And they specialized in that. Yeah. They specialize in looking at your business. It's a small business. You need a startup loan. They're able to help you. But what I like about their system is they also help you structure your financial picture in growing. And brings me to the third point, which makes it very different. There is, I wouldn't say a system in place, but there is a culture in place that does not give local entrepreneurs the opportunity to get the information is needed. There is a lot of information that is written, but you gotta go ask this one by the government building, then they gotta go dust it off over here before you could get it, and then you need somebody else to come translate it for you, and then figure it all out, you realize antiquated, and oh, we have new laws, I forget to give you that. So it's very difficult to get the information that you need. It's very difficult to do all these. These are all part of a system. It is a system in our legislation, a system in our documentation. It is a system that is in some parts of our own St. Maarten Constitution. It has taken up, and this system is part of the system we have taken over. We've just morphed the system that we had from the Netherlands and applied it to us, but it does fit us. It fits the legal parameters of what a document should look like, but it does not fit in a lot of ways, and it certainly doesn't fit us now. So having said that, that is where our local entrepreneurs are being neglected in that sense.
Let me read this.
You were saying something?
I want to read a comment fast before I lose it. Kyra Richardson, she said, that's the truth, but have you noticed it's very hard for us locals to reach far and export our own things? She actually commented this while I was speaking. So let me respond to this. So Kyra, basically, just to add, to mention again, to say again, okay? This is why I was saying that for me, the Chamber of Commerce, right? It serves the business community. Right? For me, this is my personal opinion, the Chamber of Commerce can have, or whatever business organization can have, a trade department. When I worked there, I asked about the trade department. And let me mention this. I worked at Chamber of Commerce from 2003 to 2007. And I actually left because of I felt like I wasn't, like things weren't going. So I said, you know what, we need to have a trade department, because if you are here and all of the local businesses, every business, is mandatory for businesses to be registered at Chamber of Commerce. And at the time, it was St. Maarten, St. Eustatius, and Saba. They had to be registered here. So imagine we're here. There are construction companies, there's all kinds of companies. We have the contacts to know what is happening in the outside world. When it comes to trade shows, what new products are out, that bridge needs to be connected, right? So I'm talking about 2006, 2005, 2006. I'm like We need to have a trade department. We need to be able to connect our businesses with what's happening outside. And I still feel the same way, and it's 2020. I still feel the same way. Yes, there's a lot of progress over the course of the years, but to me, it's systematic progress. But if we actually go out and hear what our people want, as what our Cara just said just now, you know, imagine she said here also, she spoke about the issues of taking their products abroad. If provisions are made, if systems are in place to assist the local entrepreneurs to at least get that boost, as I mentioned, we are the ones who have the contact outside. We can promote our local products. But me as an individual can only go so far in promoting our local products. If it comes from an entity, a credible entity within our governance structures or within our island structure, our country structure, it brings even more. So we need, as entrepreneurs, we need proper representation, and not just a representation where, okay, yeah, you could come and we have a street fair, but we need to be able to be properly connected with the outside market, and that bridge needs to happen. So Kyra, I hope I respond to your question, to what you stated properly. And she also stated, Kyra also stated, none whatsoever. It's hard for us entrepreneurs financially to get loan and move on. But Carol, to add to what Anenda stated, at this very moment, and it also was after the hurricane. After the hurricane, credits participated in the the what was it? The quick response, the quick
Yes.
recovery after the hurricane. And I believe it was $2 million was allocated to credits to inject into our community for persons who are
Correct.
interested in starting small businesses, up to $25,000 in loans, right? That was directly after the hurricane. And now NRPB, the National Recovery Program Bureau, is working with credits and Windward Island Bank. It was launched in the middle of early August. This was actually launched, whereby they're giving loans up to 150,000 US dollars. And the duration of this project is for 4 years. All right. So, Kara, right now, there are opportunities, financial opportunities, but we, at the same time, we have an obligation to make sure that we go out and get the information and get it right. So what I would do is encourage Kyra, if you haven't seen it as yet, look at, is it 2 episodes ago? 2 episodes, the episode with Edsel Gums, he spoke very, very detailedly about that project. All right. So I would encourage you to do that, and also check out credits, check out Windward Island Bank, because they're the ones who are administering, those financial bodies are the ones who are administering that that grant/loan. Oh, it's also a grant/loan. So 35% is a loan and 65% is a grant. And as Edsel said, you will never find this anywhere. Not right now, not ever. 65% grant, 35% loan. All right. So she said, I did not see that one. Thank you for answering me. You're most welcome. Hi, Francia Augusti. I see you there. I see Sharita Crandon as well. So that's me responding. Anenda, you can continue.
No problem. No problem. Just to actually, I'm glad that you responded to that, because the coach comment was actually the second point that I was going to come up with, and I wanted to actually throw back a question, because in your statement you mentioned that where you believe the Chamber of Commerce, what their role should be, where they should be able to bump up their roles. I do not disagree with you. They should definitely, or hopefully they should doing the things that we are mentioning. Before I continue, I do want to point out, you mentioned one entity already, mentioned one form of financing and funding. There are several more that are on the horizon.
Yes.
There are programs that have always been put in place. So the finance is there, and there are opportunities coming online for people. However, you need to be able to get to that. And so where I'm in two minds about the Chamber of Commerce. I absolutely believe that the Chamber of Commerce needs to provide representation of its members, the persons that are registered there, What I do not believe, and this is why I'm throwing back the following question, why do we feel that we need a Chamber of Commerce to do this for us? Why are we waiting? Because it's connected to a second question. What have we learned over all of these years makes us truly believe if we leave this responsibility to a Chamber of Commerce or whatever else, they are finally going to pull through this time? Well, those are my two questions. If we answer that, we pretty much answer the whole Koshi thing. Now, we don't need a Chamber of Commerce. I ain't even leaving you answer. Oh, you're gonna want to answer, but no, we're not that. No.
I'm not rebutting.
We don't need it.
I'm not rebutting on what you stated. We don't need a Chamber of Commerce, but what I would rebut on that what was it that you stated? You don't see why the Chamber of Commerce, if I get that right, has to present that we should be accessible to it. The reality is, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, some of us, we're ambitious to go hunting. We're hungry. I can be a vulture. You understand what I'm saying? I will go out there. I'm ruthless when it comes to these things. All right. But there are some persons, it's naturally not in them. It's naturally not in them to go out exploring. So just knowing that there's one place they can go to and get all of this service there, they prefer to just go there. And I can tell you, this has nothing to do with hospitality. I developed that over the course of years. When it comes to shopping, over 10 years ago, I enjoyed going to the cosmetic store every month when I get paid, pushing my cart, picking up my stuff, and going to the supermarkets. Now, I do not like it. I hate.
That was a very different time. We're in COVID.
In general,
nothing is
like
fun. Shopping was my zen.
I don't like it. I like going to one place and find everything and pop home. I like a one-stop shop. So some persons are like that, while others are not.
I understand what you're saying. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying completely eradicate or defund the Chamber of Commerce. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Oh, yeah,
what I'm saying is I am actually talking more to the mentality of waiting on something or someone to provide you the information. And that seems to be the vicious cycle that a lot of us are in, where I need this information. They tell me go here. You don't ask the right question, maybe. You don't get the information. And then you're discouraged from doing this. And what I'm saying is Koshi, yes, or Chamber of Commerce should definitely be a one-stop resource center for registration and for finding your resources. But I'm taking it a step further and saying, if we truly answer the question, have we learned? We have learned that you need to guide yourself.
Yeah.
Now, you brought the example of, I like shopping in this particular way, and I am this type of person. What we're doing right now on this program is a form of what I'm talking about. You telling your story just now about what you think about the Chamber of Commerce is going to somewhere along the line put an aha moment to one person listening. You are educating. We are educating together.
Yeah.
There are a lot of us in society right now. There are a lot of us who can help you get your business online in 5 minutes. There are a lot of us who can help you to do marketing, to do your pictures, do this, to do that. And what the thing about it is, you might say, I don't know them. They are on your news feed because you are able to find social media platform.
Yeah.
So the question now becomes, how much are we with? How bad do you want it? And that has always been the question for entrepreneurs, whether you're in hospitality or not. How bad do you want it? Now, giving the example, what you said, I am a vulture. I will go out there, get what I need to. I don't care what anybody else and somebody else out there is not that great. But you sitting here and telling your story told a person that is not a vulture what can do. And so we are not taking up our collective responsibility as those in society right now who have those positions to speak to people and go, hey, I see that you're struggling. Let me help you out. Hey, I noticed that I see you trying to do a thing on Facebook. Let me try and help you out there. And not think price, but think collective growth. That person is going to be part of a network. On the other hand, we as entrepreneurs as well need to open to the fact that somebody looks like me, went in school with me, probably was a different person back then, now got their stuff together, can actually advise me. We need to get over that hurdle and that prejudice too. There is no way we are going to move forward. We can talk about Chamber of Commerce, we can talk about the Economic Department, we can talk about the ministers till we're blue in the face. But there's nothing that's going to move there if we don't move and show our mindset here.
I agree with you.
COVID has shown you, has put you in front of the mirror and told you you either get it together or you don't. Not in such a harsh way for some people. And I understand being overwhelmed and burdened with the thought of how I'm going to get through the situation. How am I going to make my money? How am I going to feed my family? I completely understand that. And there's going to be a situation. Some businesses are ever coming back. Some people will not find a place on St. Martin anymore and will have to move. It is a natural purge that is happening. It is a natural cleanse, a natural changing of the guard. We're seeing young people come up in that, but we all have to be open to that. So coming back to the whole entrepreneurship and asking, how do we get our locals to move forward? And looking at, like you mentioned, agriculture earlier, which is a new sector because we've sort of segmented away from hospitality. My thing is, agriculture can be its own industry, but the thing about it is about feeding ourselves. Agriculture confused hospitality by being our agriculture, that open market at Emilio, becoming the sole provider of the fresh vegetables for all caterers, all restaurants. That's keeping things in-house and empowering your people. And at the end of the day, really this conversation that we're having about what the future is going to look like is about empowering our people to be a part of the economic system that we have, to contribute, but also to benefit from it. We have created a system on Maarten where our local people who live here benefit the least from what this island has to offer and are shunned from experiencing what our island has to offer. All in the name, we don't want to upset the money that's coming in. When I keep telling all of my students, why do you think they come to the restaurant 3 times? Because they want to hear you with your accent, tell them about the adventure you had the night before at Lago Heights, so they have a piece of the Caribbean experience. So why is it you are segmenting and separating people from the very thing that got people to come down here? We are empowering our people. We are not empowering our local entrepreneurs. We are not honoring the local talents that we have, and they are far more than we ever can imagine. We have a full-fledged industry here. You know, we have a fashion industry, we have a baking industry, we have a food industry, we have entertainment, we have everything here. We've just not structured and made work for us. And all of these things now coming to the expert question about Kira is all of these things are connected. If you start to structure all of these things in our hub position as St. Martin itself, you are now getting a product where people have to come here to get the knowledge from it, where they have to come here to get the benefits of it. Dr. Rhoda Arndale started this thought pattern a long time ago when she said we should be a language center. We should be a hub for languages because we have that capability here. And now it's time where we need people to start taking these things seriously. We need to organize. We need to get ourselves together. But we as entrepreneurs need to make sure that if you move up the hill, then people with you need to move with you, where you need to be very clear, which means your responsibility now in this of COVID is to educate the other person, is to invest in yourself, that $75 that the Social Academy is now having as a one-on-one training for Instagram. We want to get online, we want our products to go out there, but we are not willing to pay the money, invest ourselves. Here, I'm telling you 2 things, right? If you want to move forward as an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to invest the money and the time. If you're telling me you can't get the money because you're not working, then make something, do something to get that first dollar and commit to yourself that every single dollar coming in from business is going to be invested back in that business. I started my newest venture with nothing, a sewing machine and some leftover cloth, no money, no idea how I'm going to do it. Now I'm building stock, because with each dollar that came in, I look, what am I missing? What I need? What is acute? What am I gonna do? And you document it. If you want to go down this route, you are going to have to get serious. It is harder to work for yourself than it is to work for somebody else. That is the bottom line of it. You will never stop working for yourself. You will be tired. You will be exhausted, and there is nobody you can fall back on There is nobody, you go, okay, help me. It's you and you alone until you get a team. But at the end of the day, it's you and you alone.
Mm-hmm.
So for entrepreneurs dealing with this and trying to move themselves forward and saying we're feeling neglected, you could have said it 10 years ago, but in 2020, with access to any form of information on any platform, I'm sorry, you can't sell anymore. Sell me, I don't know where to go now, or sell me, I don't have the financing right now to be able to get this done. I have a plan. Most entrepreneurs, when you speak to them, oh, I want to start a business, don't have a plan. They can't even tell me what they're going to do next week. They can't even decide where they want to be in 5 years. They have no idea what their core thing stands for. Don't get me wrong, I sound like I'm being harsh, but I was in the same position. I walked around with an idea and told everybody about it. And when my friend said, but you have a plan? I was like, yeah, the plan. I'm going to go out and work. She's like, no, your plan. Because you need to get yourself on top of things. Now is the perfect time to get your financial education. There are so many places, right? Amanda, who you're on the show, has those services as well. Payrolling service. We are going to need to get ourselves knowledge because Chamber of Commerce right now is doing other things that they can't get the knowledge to us. We are going to have to go and get the same way how you go and get your mele is the same way how you have to go and get knowledge.
Oh my God. Wait. The same way how you go to get your mele, the same way you have to go to get your knowledge.
Because it's that.
Yeah.
For you to get mele, you have to log into Facebook, go on the Facebook, go on the people them page, read in the comments, and then come back and feel educated and talk to your friends like, yeah, I know what's going on. You see all of them steps you went through is the same when you go on the Google and you type in, how do I start my business plan?
And it doesn't even serve you anything in return.
So don't come and tell me you don't know how to do it.
Yeah. You know, let's just remind our viewers, the GYHAFF today is on hospitality. And you would have, if you're following, you would hear that we are talking about local entrepreneurs. What we're talking about, basically, the reason why this conversation is geared, it's just hopscotch there. It's all connected. Everything is most of the businesses on the island is a hospitality service business. Persons built their business around the hospitality sector. Oh, I have a business, which is okay, right? But when now that hospitality, that only sector crumble on a standstill, all of those businesses that were built to basically plug in bits and pieces to leverage from the hospitality sector, there's hardly anything left because persons don't have other businesses there. Majority of the population does not have any other business that does not service only the hospitality sector. So that's the reason why we're having this GYHAFF right now in this little portion to talk about how else can we function. We can, of course, service in the hospitality sector is fine, but in a time like COVID, the hospitality sector is sapped. It's basically on a standstill. It is on a standstill. So how do we then survive? How do we then maintain ourselves? All right.
Agreed.
So before we continue, if I may mention to our viewers, you can please subscribe to our newsletter, gyhaffin.com, GYHAFFIN, gyhaffin.com. Let us know your email, send it to us so you can subscribe and keep in contact, stay connected to Gyhaffin with Keoma. We'll definitely appreciate that very much. We're still working on our website, so bear with us, but where you can subscribe is proper. It's proper, all right? So thank you to our viewers. I see Francisca, knowledge is power. Jonathan, hey Jonathan, how are you doing? Brenda, Anthony said that's true. Have to empower the locals more, but have to help them change their mindset. You cannot really help people to change their mindset. You can put the information out there, and it's up to a person to receive it. It's up to them to make that decision to accept it. Mindset is not easy. I told someone a few times, we can change our habits, our mind periodically. Okay, you know what? Piece by piece, I'm going to stop using sugar. Piece by piece, I'm going to stop this habit. But there comes a time where, by a click of a finger, you have to be someone else. Before you click that finger, you're one way. By the click of a finger, you're something else. And we have to be able to adjust accordingly. We have to be ready even when we're not ready. We can buckle, but we can never fall. We have to be ready. All right. So Anenda, you want to say something?
I'm listening. I'm really, and there goes my earring. My earring was all in with you. It fell off.
Oh, okay.
I agree with you. I agree with the what you just said. We have to be willing. I do want to say something about mindset. What we are
Mm-hmm.
looking at is a collective mindset, not necessarily an individual mindset. And to motivate collective minds, you have to be able to present the outcome. And the problem is that we don't have a clear plan on what the outcome is going to be. So the collective mindset is over the place. That is why, but it's absolutely working on people's mindset, people's perception of where they are at. Um, so that's one part of it. The second part, when we go back to hospitality, the premise of this entire app was to talk about future of hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
And I, the future would, I'm going to take future in two segments. I take future as in the immediate future within the next year, 2 years, and the future
Mm-hmm.
of hospitality throughout the years, the next decade, how that's going to look. These are my personal perceptions. There's nothing set
Mm-hmm.
in stone. It's based on
Mm-hmm.
some articles wrote in my thinking brain. So go out and said, she said, I mean, just it's food for thought. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
What is not food for thought, however, is the fact that hospitality right now on St. Maarten and worldwide is taking a serious blow and is going to
Mm-hmm.
continue to take a serious blow for at least another year, till next year's summer. We will
Mm-hmm.
have highlights. We will have moments of prosperous times or prosperous
Mm-hmm.
moments or moments where it looks like we're moving forward and things are getting better, but they will not be stable moments. They will be just as they are moments from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go through those pockets. And each of those pockets, so each rise and each drop, they're going to fall away and things are going to be added to us. We're going to have businesses that are going to fall away, but also concepts that are no longer working for us, replacing them with new concepts. Take, for instance, the takeaway movement that's happening in a lot of food places right now. Delivery is going to become something else. Logistics is an entire industry that's going to open up eventually, for people just to get their groceries delivered, for people to get their supplies delivered, because people are being required to stay at home a little more often. Schools have still not been open, so businesses are having to segment themselves out there to be of service. Remember, that was the premises of hospitality. So service industry is now going to meet the client where they are, and they're going to eliminate that middleman in between there, aka the supermarket, because I'm going online and I'm picking on it, and I'm ordering that. But in the immediate future, we are going to go through highs, lows. We are going to see a complete change of the landscape of hospitality in the term of the product, not in the served part. And the most important part, when I take away the restaurant, when I take away the pretty chairs, and I put you on a beach with a towel, but I bring you food that has been made immaculately, and I serve it to you and bring you that and put a napkin in front of you, that's service. That's culinary. That's a skill set. That's the core of who we are and what we provide with smile that we bring there. We don't need a restaurant. We don't need a building to do that. So what I'm saying with that is hospitality in the form of brick and mortar, how we see it, in the form of how we have set up our structures, our malls, our places, will change because we won't need that much real estate to be able to provide the exact same service. The mentality of humans is going to be that we are going to be staying at home more often. When we look at the very long-term future of hospitality, is going to change to the core concept. We're going back to it to be of service, but all in addition to that, we are looking at an empathy-based, communication-based,
Mm-hmm.
far more emotionally
Yeah.
intelligent-based
Mm-hmm.
hospitality, where
Mm-hmm.
care provide you an experience
Yeah.
and taking care of you and meeting your needs is going to be at the forefront. Now, we either jump
Mm-hmm.
on as a St. Maarten and start to do the necessary things, or we are going to miss out on that.
Daniel Pink, he mentioned it in his book. I think it's a whole new earth or a brand new mind. I forgot the name of the book, but he mentioned we are no longer living in the systematic age. We are now in the age of empathy. We're now in the age of empathy,
Yes.
and this is what business now thrive. It's like we're no longer living in an analytical age. It's now an age of empathy. And
Correct.
as what you, I just said it to complement what you stated, you know, everything, every industry, every sector will represent that, every sector. But Ananda, we're, okay, we touched base on the current state of our hospitality sector, how persons are affected by it. You know, I will mention there are so many people who right now who are unemployed. They cannot pay their bills. They're not earning. They cannot pay their bills. Cannot, well, rent, utilities, everything. Food is an issue. Their children needs food. You know, persons are being evicted. Persons are being everything, and it's basic. It's definitely, I'm stuttering because the state of the affairs, the repercussion is detrimental. It's on the verge, if not already creating a social unrest, a massive social unrest, because everyone was plugged in to this one sector. Persons from the airport, even their salaries has been dropped. You know, there's no tax, there's no tourists coming in, so there's no revenues to be made from the government. It's crazy. How, if we were to fully open up, which we are accepting flights already, we know that. How can we, in your opinion, reopen safely? How can we reopen cautiously, safely?
Well, ooh, I got to take a breath for that one. There are some things in that analogy question I will not be able to answer because I simply don't have that kind of expertise. And I'll start by saying that I am concerned about just opening in general. I know that we have opened, not because I don't believe that we should open. I absolutely believe we need to get more of our economy going, but simply because I fail to see a cohesive plan protecting us. That's my personal belief. When we look at people's situations right now that are very, very real, not able to pay their bills, not able to function and to move. I'm in that same situation. I mean, I look all fine and everything here, but look, I'm in the same situation just like everybody. So I'm a sole proprietor. I make my money, I work, and if I'm not working, I don't make my money. And in the time, I'm blessed to be able to have a location where I can stay, where I don't necessarily have to worry about rent at the moment, but I could be in a totally different situation. So I understand where those people are at. This may sound very cool. This may sound very odd, but this is a situation that St. Maarten itself will have to ride out. This is a quiet storm. This is a perfect storm coming because it was long overdue. And unfortunately, we as human beings only learn from pain. Unfortunately, I wish we would learn happy things, but we only learn from pain. And some of our politicians over the years have kept saying, I guess some people ain't hurting enough yet. We are getting to hurt. We are getting now to the core of the wound. We are now seeing the white things getting serious. And it has to happen. You need to implode before you can actually go back up. So as unfortunate as it may sound, some of us are going to reap the really bad repercussions of this situation. We are going to suffer through it. Some of us are just not going to actually climb back up from it. That is the reality of it. What it also does when it starts to implode, you're saying social unrest already. When it starts to implode, it is actually designed to wake up everything else around you. Because in order to move forward, you have to address that situation so that you can move forward in any other situation. You said it aptly. Hospitality is now on a standstill, and it's put us on a standstill. And that is really the core of the issue. If you don't fix it, and with that I mean fix the legislation that make sure that local entrepreneurs are able to participate as well as being able to get the benefits for them to be able to make it to a platform. If you don't start adjusting the legislation that the people that are investing in your places, whether they are existing investors or not, start to invest in the island itself, adopt the school, adopt street, adopt the, I don't care what you adopt, but you're financially be responsible because you use it. And part of being ruined is because we utilize it to make your business better. We need to build legislation in that. If we don't start to work on actually working on our society education-wise, not only hospitality education, but just education-wise, we are not going to move forward. COVID has asked us to stand still. COVID has asked us to hospitality. It's under a microscope right now. And most of us are running away from it. Most of us are squeamish, or most of us are blaming it for the financial mess that we are in. Some things are going to be inevitable. There is going to be collateral damage in this. We are seeing it now. The social unrest has to happen. We have been too complacent as a people. We have too complacent as an island, and we're not given any thought to anything. So we are now faced with the situation ourselves. And then we're going to tackle education. That's really where we're at the moment. And I hope that we get to that collectively to really do that. We still have some stairs, we have some floors to go down the elevator before we can even start talking about a possible pressing them to go back up to the main lobby.
I said this, what I'm about to say, last week, and I said it the week before, and I'll say it now, because we're talking about employment right now, right? Persons without work, social unrest. Not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone wants to own their own business. Some persons are quite fine working.
Correct.
I call it institutionalized environment, right? From the 8 to 5. Some persons are
That's
fine.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Right? Some persons are fine with it. And of course, it's okay. No one is condemning it. But for persons, and I said it again, I said it last week, and I said it the week before. For persons who service this, okay, persons who are laid off, I'm encouraging you to just keep this in mind. You may, I want a job that is for me. They're not hiring me and pay me what you want. Right now, it's push come to shove. I'm not saying to accept dog chips, all right? But it's an extraordinary situation. Yeah. And you may not earn what you're accustomed of earning. You may not get the position of what you're accustomed of having, but it's about its survival mode. Until things get back to some level of normalcy, until better can be done, it's survival mode. I'm not saying for you to go and prostitute yourself, or let me say, we're not saying to go against your, we're not saying, don't laugh, please don't laugh, Anenda. I'm not saying to go.
I'm sorry, but I just had a whole visual. I was like, no, that's not going to work.
To go against your principles and your morals, all right? We're not saying to go against that. But there are some persons who feel, you know what? Pay me what I deserve. I'm accustomed of working in this position. We know that. But if you were laid off and someone offer you $10 an hour, $15 an hour, $10, $20 an hour, it's better than what? It's more than what you've had 5 minutes earlier. All right? It's temporary. Do not cut style on the money. Don't cut style on the money. Don't shop on the money. All right. So
what you're alluding to and what you are addressing is letting go of what it was. And there's a lot of letting go that we have to do from the status quo.
Exactly.
You have to start looking at what you need versus what you want.
Yes.
I want my own apartment, but I need a roof over my head. So let's look at where finances are. I don't have the finances to get my own apartment, but I have the finance to make where I am as comfortable for me as possible. What you want is to have night food every night and go to the dining. What you need is food, which means you're going to get flour, you're going to get oil, you're going to get butter, you can get some kind of form, make sure you have that so that you are able to make the cake. It is time now to strip to the bare minimum and look at needs versus your wants until you are back in a position where you can get your wants. And what people struggle with most of the time is realizing that the money is shrinking and it's not able to support the lifestyle they've built up. And they have no means how to bring these two together to make the shrinking and just living work. Second thing that people have, I love that you said that, is that it is for this time. Nobody say you got to make a career out of the thing. This is not going to last you 50, 40 years. You are doing it, and I'm quite sure the employer also knows you ain't going to be there forever. You are doing it in a situation where you need to do it. And the wonderful thing about that is sometimes you take on things that you think, no, that ain't for me, and end up realizing it's the thing that you didn't know you needed.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
You also have to be open to doing new things.
That's when you said that, that was exactly what came to my mind.
And that's either way. What people need to see is you have to switch your thought. Everything you thought right now is not the same anymore. And so you have to be, Lee Nichols says it best. She had a year of yes, where everything that came to her, she said yes instead of saying no, and you figure it out. Say yes more often. Because you have to be honest with yourself. What are you in it for? Because you want to get in the position, or because you want to survive another day? If you want to survive another day and you want to keep your head up high, you will take on the different type job. Am I saying take on a job that's denigrated? No. Am I saying that you should do something that is harmful to your health or to your family? No, of course not. But if you could do a job that previously you thought, well, I mean, that I dying for me, I'm not that kind of person, I don't want it to see me, you better act right. Don't act brand new, but you can't do that. Better go and apply for that, get that for the time being, get the money that you need to, again, invest in yourself to move forward.
And you have to,
that's the bottom line.
Brenda Anthony stated, yet if you are not accustomed with survival plan, it's difficult to let go or accept. Everything is difficult. It's a choice. It's a choice. As I mentioned, their change comes progressively. There are some of us, we take time, we give a little inch, an inch, progressively. But there's another time where change must come by the click of a finger. 1 second you're one way, the other second you're something else. And you have to adjust, you have to adopt. There's no excuse. You can cry. There are times, man, but as a friend told me, how do you know what you like if you haven't tried it all? As long as it's not going against what you stand for, you have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. At least you can say, I tried it and I don't really like that. But hey, I tried it. Surprisingly, it's really good. I never thought I would like it.
But I'd like to ask the person who made that statement the following. You're saying that it's hard to adjust to the if you've not been in the survival mode, it's hard to do that. I understand that. I absolutely agree with that. My question to whenever a person says that to me is, how long are you willing to be comfortable in this situation right now? If nothing ever changes from the situation you are currently in right now, so you don't do anything at all, you don't look at the changes, can you live with that? If your answer is for infinity, you can live with the situation as it is right now, I don't have nothing else to tell you. I'm going to shake your hand. We're going to keep it moving. And I'm going to tell you you're absolutely right. If your answer is no, you have to reevaluate your statement that you just made. You got to the situation you were comfortable by going through some uncomfortable moments to stay in that comfort. It required you to make changes because you're not the same person you were 10 years ago. You are now in a crisis and you realize that you don't know how to survive. No problem. There is no manual on how to do it. We understand. But what everyone has is the will to live, is the will to progress, is the will to prosper, is the will to move forward. My question again comes to you. How long are you willing to stay in your current status? How long are you willing to decide that you want to be uncomfortable, not reaching further, not moving forward? And if that is the case, that you're seeing, okay, I'm in this situation, are you truly, truly looking at opportunities that are there, or are you picky, or are you just being confused? So if you're telling me you're overwhelmed with the choice, I can definitely understand that. But we know that there are enough avenues. Ask a question. If you don't know who to ask somebody's grandmother how they survive, ask a question. We have a Caribbean network that can give you answers on how to do the basic survival skills. It is not a permanent station, although it feels like a permanent station. But if you stay in stagnation of it and you're comfortable in this, oh, I don't like it and it's terrible, you are never going to move forward. Remember, once you take a car, everybody knows that you got a car, you let go of the handbrakes by accident, the car is going to stop and go, oh, okay, no, I can't go. The car is rolling down the hill. Once you make one movement, you start to make it starts a perpetual motion. So if you make the first step, the rest will come. But you sitting there on the fence going, I don't know if I'm going to water, Lord, I don't know if I'm going to make it in the water. I don't know if it's not help you. You're going to stay there talking about water every day.
Brenda commented again, but before I read what Brenda just commented, let me read what Sierra Queenie said. It's difficult, but it's a process. It's almost like learning how to walk. All right. So Brenda,
yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
I think what Sierra said answers this. It is difficult, but it's a process. It's almost like learning how to walk. You need to be willing. So, and then
yes.
Brenda
key.
comments willingness. You need to be willing. Brenda stated, remember, you are accustomed with a certain level of life. Adaptation is difficult, cannot accept less, maybe little picky. But listen, push come to shove.
But acceptance is a choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's push come to shove. When you're in survival mode, you're in survival mode, and a lot of times we look at outside. Oh my God, I wonder, because when we're always drinking sugar and water, we believe the people outside know we're drinking sugar and water. We feel like, oh my God, by the
at least you're alive. You could live another day to talk.
Yeah, but they have this as a prideful feeling, and I can understand that. Oh my God, like I have to catch a gypsy. I have to get this. Listen, when I left my job in 2003, I tell people, if I can give up my car, anybody can do it, because I like convenience. Anybody can do it. I sold my car. I actually sold my car. You know what I mean? And it's a desire. It's a willingness. You have to want it, whatever it is. You have to want it. And I know it comes with pride.
You don't even have to define it. You need to have willingness to move from where you are to where you want to go. You need to be willing to put effort in. Let's just start with that. Even defining what you need. We just want you to put in effort. You're saying you're not used to it. You're saying it's hard. I'm not saying that's Brenda. I'm just saying people in general say that it's hard. I'm accustomed to a lifestyle. Who says that lifestyle suits you now? I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. That lifestyle, who say that lifestyle still suits who you are becoming? So why are you holding on to it? Yes, I love comforts too. I had a fantastic lifestyle in a comfort zone. But now when I honestly look back at it, it wasn't suit me anymore. I needed a different lifestyle, a different environment. Change is hard. Change is painful. It is natural to resist. It's what we do. We go kicking and screaming and yelling, crying. We go into the change, and then we go, oh, it's the best thing we've done. And that's what you kind of have to keep in your head. It's painful. I agree. It is uncomfortable. I agree. It is not why I sum up. I agree. People are gonna look at me funny. Yes, they are. And so what?
And let me say
because at the end of the day, if any of them are looking funny at you, paying your bills, we could talk. If they're not paying your bills, you need to just keep it moving.
But Ananda, sometimes it's in our head. Sometimes we believe the persons are looking at us funny. Sometimes we believe the struggle we're experiencing.
It's always in our head.
Sometimes we believe they know. But as I'm listening, as I'm looking at Brenda Anthony's comments, and I'm listening to what you're saying, Ananda, I remember this, and I want to ask Brenda this. You said here, remember you are accustomed with a certain level of life. Adaptation is difficult, cannot accept less, maybe a little picky. Who provided that life for you?
Were you the one who provided that life? That is standard that you're living at.
Exactly. Who provided that life for you? This reminds me of something my mother told me years ago, but she said it to us continuously, right? We had a washing machine. We had all of those things in the home. But mommy said, I would teach you to wash with clothes with your hands. I will teach you to cook. I will teach you to do all of these things. And this is what she said to me. She said, this is the life we are able to provide for you. You do not know what life you'll be able to provide for yourself. So regardless of what happened, I want you to know how to adapt to that life. So we are giving you a washing machine to wash your clothes. But what if in your life, you're not able to provide a washing machine for yourself? How would you adapt? So that's the reason why she taught us how to wash clothes with our hands. So if we are not able to provide a washing machine for ourselves as they did for us, we're still able to live, to function. All right. If I'm not able, I sold my car on my own. I sold my car and I had to find a means to get around. And I'm telling you, if I sold my car, you know I'm up to something because I can tell you at 15, 16 years old, let me say this, at 15, people might think that, okay, what's wrong with her? Well, I would tell you this. I don't like public transportation for nothing. At 15, 16 years old, I used to go to Champions of the King, a church, Saturday church, youth thing. And right there by KFC in town, New Testament Baptist Church, every Saturday, girl, I find it was so embarrassing to see me come out of a bus. Everybody is different. Y'all don't criticize me. I found it so
but you're alluding to the point that Brenda brought up, lifestyle you were accustomed to. And it's hard to let it go. You did it, but even now in your story, you're saying, that lifestyle I was used to. I still don't do public transportation, but I understand the need to do it. And I understand that it gets me what I need to do. So I put my pride aside.
Exactly. So I had to do it. The circumstances change. Yeah. The time changed. I was after something else, and I was willing to sell my car and confine to a public transport, or have somebody, hey, come pick me up here, pick me up there. I was able to slim my schedule to only when I needed to be out, I'm out. I actually book all of my appointments on the same day. So when I go one time and I get everything done. If I have to go back, I book it for another day. All of my appointments, and that created a way of life. Whenever I have stuff to do, everything is booked on the same day because I don't have the time to go out. I hate errands. I hate doing errands. Let me mention that. No. So Brenda said, yeah, Brenda, let me read two of your comments before I read it. We are like an hour and a half in, but I definitely want to ask Anenda another question. Before I go to Brenda's comment, again, to our viewers, if you don't mind, of course you don't mind, please, I'm asking you, go to gyhaffin.com and subscribe to our newsletter. I would definitely much appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Gyhaffin.com, GYHAFFIN. Look in the comment section, Bismarck Agency. You will see they're posted it right there. That's one of my member of my team. So thank you so much for supporting this journey, Biz. So Brenda stated, cannot start again from the ground up. If it cannot start again from the ground up, if it was in the middle, okay. But from the ground, that's too much, and you get tired fast and sweat too much. Then the ceiling is far. And then she said, I work hard to reach where I reach up high. From the ground till up again, that is too much. I can understand that. But
that's me as well. I can
understand that. I think anyone can understand that. But at the same time, evolution is different. What if, God forbid, what if hurricane destroy your entire home and your business? You still have to start from the ground up. But the difference in starting from the ground up this time, you're starting with knowledge, years and years of knowledge and experience. You now know how to go about doing things the way you didn't know how when you started from the ground up before. This is my philosophy. You know have network. You have people you can touch base and say, hey, can you help me do this? Or you can have connection here and there. But you're starting over doesn't mean that it's a death sentence. It's going to be painful. It is going to be painful. But the knowledge and the experience you didn't have when you first started, you have that now. And then you can comment on that. Go ahead, Nenda.
In addition, if I may add to that, you're never ever going to start from the ground. You never start back from scratch, as Keoma alluded to. It's not possible. You cannot start scratch for something you've already established and created in the world. Start back from experience, and you never start back at the full beginning. You start back at it. You know, you track back to where is it solid? Okay, here. What I need to change to actually function here? These and these things. This is not a situation where you're asked to start from scratch. It is a situation where you are asked to take a closer look at what it is that you have and how it can fit with the coming decade that's happening. And then you need to think about things like the digital world. How can you maneuver, position yourself in the digital world? How can you maneuver and position yourself in a different type of understanding? But it all comes down to, again, the willingness and the effort and energy. I hear and understand what you mean with not wanting to do it. I get that. Absolutely, I do. But on the other side point, I am a firm believer in the fact that there are specific things designed in such a way to make you better. And this even feels like it, at this point, it feels I got to start all over again. It's because you're really focused on the pain of it and the situation and the facts, and that's okay. You need to go through that as a process as well. But it's not allowing you at this point to see the further outreach of it. It's not allowing you to see, maybe I can do it in this way, or maybe I can adjust it there, or maybe sometimes just start something completely different if that is in your area, if that is something that you would be able to do, is what you necessarily need. But at this point, just listening to Beth's comments and understanding where she's at, this is also a process you have to go through. These are the questions you constantly have to ask yourself, and you will be asking yourself. What you shouldn't do is stay in this state of mind for a long time. You should actually be asking those questions and working out the solutions or working out your answers, and from there drawing inspiration. Again, not easy, easier said than done. I'm great saying it, but it's very hard to implement it on the days you don't have the energy and you don't see the sense of it anymore. But it's temporary. It's honestly temporary. And it becomes long-term when you don't tackle the issue or move forward. It becomes very temporary, very short-lived once you start to make one step in the direction of where you want to go. Just one. You don't have to think all the other ones. Just start at one step, and then the rest will start to flow and find themselves in their positions.
Ciara Queenie said adaptation is a difficult thing. I agree with that, but we just have to accept the things we have no control of. Some people were not disabled, but now they are. Some of them were with good health, but now they are not. Others lost both parents. Now they are forced to accept life the way it is, but not because they want to. I think that is very, very profound. That is very profound. And then Ciara also stated, she said, no, Brenda, you will be able to reach there faster because you will definitely know what route to take. And that's the advantage. Kevin said, good advice. You start back from your prior experience and knowledge. You may need to strategize, regroup, refocus, and remodify. So that is very good. Anenda, let me ask you this. Let me ask this. What are your thoughts? Okay, in terms of revitalizing our hospitality sector, I noticed a few months now, Barbados, and now I saw Anguilla is doing the same, following suit. Barbados Prime Minister announced work from home in Barbados because everyone around the world basically is working from home. So the initiative to bring more travelers to the shores, to the Bajan shores, she started this initiative work from home from Barbados, whereby they give a leeway of 1 year, a special stamp for persons to come in. You don't need a visa, but of course it comes with a fee, right? What are your, and Anguilla, as I mentioned, is also has also adopted that. What what are your thoughts on that with regard to St. Martin and other Caribbean islands?
I think I like the idea. Let me start with that. I like the idea that Barbados is doing this. I like the idea that Anguilla is doing it and other countries are. I like the concept. I understand the concept. I think it's a very smart concept, business wise, bringing awareness to your island wise, etc. I also think that Barbados and Anguilla are in a good position to be able to offer this service. They have a lot of infrastructure and the logistics and the institutional policies put in place to be able to handle. There is some consistency there, even though every government has a level of corruption. So I am for an idea like this. I like the out of the boxness of it. I like the fact that you are giving people an opportunity to live the Caribbean life while still working. It brings a revenue of income. It's all a win. It's sounding great. Would it work on St. Martin, or should it be something that I encourage? Yes, usually we can encourage that, but we have some bigger problems that we need to tackle first. We can even consider offering this. We have infrastructure in order for you to come work here or live here and work from here, we need an internet infrastructure that is going to be able to stand the test of time and is going to be able to handle the additional influx of people logging in and going out. This Zoom call right now, I went through 40 different things to make sure that I hear you. There is still a lagging delay. I have to put myself close to the phone to be able to hear it now. Now, it could be inferior product. That's what I thought. But this morning, I had a Zoom conversation on my laptop, and the internet did the same thing. If we, and I'm not the only one. I'm hearing from different schools, different teachers, different students at home doing online courses. Internet drops, it falls, connection is bad. We don't even have a proper infrastructure right now, digital, to take care of our populace. We have no business offering this type of service for people come and work here or live here and work. We don't even have proper infrastructure on our island to house all of these people. So we have some things we structurally need to put in place, and then we should definitely be able to offer that. But right now, as it stands, no, we don't have the necessary supplemental things put in place or organized to be able to comfortably have somebody come here and live and work. Unless you have some ties to St. Martin's, unless you have some form of tie back and forth, unless you are willing to pay exorbitant amounts for internet or whatever else that you need, we're just not there yet. But we can get there if we take the time now to make all of the necessary changes that all of these new situations are asking us to do.
In an interview with CNN, Barbados, Miss Motley, or the Honorable Motley, Mia Motley, she was asked, what is the state of the internet there? Because if you're asking persons to leave their home where their internet is good there, to go to Barbados and work from home, what the internet has to be up to par. So definitely what you stated, our infrastructure here, it definitely has to improve, because if for day-to-day Zoom calls right now with students from school, and even to now, I mean, today you were also experiencing difficulties with your calls, so definitely, I mean, I think it's an amazing idea, but are we ready for that here in St. Martin?
We're not there yet. We can get there. Believe it would be good for us.
When?
But we're not there yet.
Yeah. And I'm wondering about other Caribbean islands as well. What infrastructure is in place to accommodate such an opportunity? I think it's a very good opportunity. Very, very good.
It's going to be interesting to see how it works out in those islands.
Anything else? Are we missing anything? Yes, I think so too. I definitely will follow it. I definitely will follow, because when I saw it, I was like, hey, this is intriguing. I think it's very, very good. Bismarck Agency said we should all take this time off to empower ourselves with knowledge, change our relationship with money by using it as a tool to acquire more. And we definitely need to have an open mindset to adopt to the new changes in a positive light. Definitely. Definitely.
100%
Yeah.
approved that comment.
Yeah. When it comes to our relationship with money, that is, even for me, that is something that I am learning. And I mentioned it last two
We were never
episodes as
taught,
well.
and that's no fault
Yes,
to anybody.
we
We
were
were
never
never
taught.
taught that. We were
We
never
were never
taught to
taught.
be able to. We were taught how to handle money in the sense of how you're going to pay your bills, but we were not taught
Yes.
how to make money, invest money, work for
Yes.
us.
Yes.
You just know how to use it as a consumer, but you don't know how to use it
Yes.
as an investor. And that's
And
why I said somewhere halfway through our conversation, financial literacy is the next thing you should do. And if you say that
yeah.
you don't know how to do that, there are free courses on YouTube, no longer than 10 minutes, that do stuff in bite
Yeah.
size with tangible, practical things that you can do to learn financial literacy. It's not as difficult as it makes. It makes you understand what money is and what it can do for you and steps that you need to use to get money to do something for you. And when you understand that, you understand the concept. What I'm working with now is that if I charge $40 for a particular item, $5 what I use for me for my treat and buy myself an ice cream, whatever it is. The rest is invested in material, is
Yeah.
invested in hardware, is invested in, let me put in a little boost on Facebook. Let me do that. There is a point in a period in time where everything that you're doing is working towards your goal, and
Yeah.
you just don't have any room for anything that is not on your priority
Yeah.
list, or you don't have any room for people that are not a priority list. Because at the end of the day, what are you working towards? If we're looking at the situation where we are concerned and we are confused about where we are, we don't like where we are at, where are we going to? What is it that you want to get to do? So you come back to the same circle all over again. All of this comes down to one question and one question alone. How bad do you want it? And what are you willing to do for it? Are you ready to put in the effort for it? Are you ready to become uncomfortable so you can become comfortable again? Are you ready to go through the pain? Are you going to go in front of the mirror and face yourself? These are all the questions that are going to come up. And this is the perfect time for you to do that.
Yeah.
Learn about yourself. Understand you made some mistakes with money. Learn how to not to make those mistakes anymore. Invest in yourself. Stop paying attention to people out there and what they have to say, because everybody going to have something to say about your business, and do what you got to do. The rest will, I promise you, I won't lie to you, the rest will fall in place, but it can't do nothing. We can't love you into loving yourself. So here's what we need you to do. Start loving you, and then along the way, we'll love you like you love yourself even better. But we need you to start to get the process going.
Yeah, definitely. We have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a while. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a while. It's necessary. I can talk. One good day I will have somebody ask me questions, and I can share what my journey has been like for the past 7 years, because for me it wasn't a COVID pandemic, it was just Keoma. I was always the person who was seeking fulfillment. Like, if it didn't, and it wasn't even about the money, the job. Oh yeah, you're not making this amount of money. I felt empty, and that emptiness is what pushed me to seek fulfillment. I was after something. And when I was on that journey, I'm like, you know what? It has to happen. It has to happen. I was willing to be uncomfortable for a little while, because I know I'm progressive. And the more I push, the closer I get. But it it sounds easy talking about it. When you're in it,
It's a whole different ballgame.
it's a
It's
whole
not the
different
same
ballgame.
story.
But you have to want it.
So I do want to say to the Brendas and to those that are messaging, it sounds like we're being all, oh yeah, but it's so simple. We acknowledge far more than most people that is a very difficult journey. And it is not a mental switch that you make overnight. That is truly acknowledged. But we can also sit in front and tell you it is absolutely worth every single minute that you spend, because the person that you win back, the person that I am after going through that journey and valley, look, I ain't trading her for nobody else. I like this version. Like I said, I'm fly, I'm flawed, I'm awesome, and all that stuff, and I'm keeping that. But 10 years ago, you wouldn't be able to get me to say that sentence about myself. I would be like, no, I'm okay. Yeah, I think I look all right. Now I'm like, I don't really care about that. I care about how I feel about myself. And that's a journey in and of itself. We are all being
Yes.
required, like Bismarck said, to go through a journey right now. And this is,
Yes.
if we want to take it in the biblical context, if we want to go for those who are religious and are trying to combat, kind of connect two things together, there is a point where you are going to be called, as the good book says, those who are the chosen ones, and I put between brackets, are going to be called. And I'm paraphrasing it because I don't want to go into particular chapters, etc. But this is the call. If you were wondering what it was, if it was going to be somebody coming in the night with a drum or with a trump, this is the call. The call is: are you to rise to the new occasion and the new normal? Are you going to rise to the call of reinventing yourself? Are you going to rise to the call of talking to yourself, of getting yourself to that next level? We are being all asked to level up. Are you going to meet the call to level up?
Definitely. Definitely. Anenda, I think we did. I hope our viewers let us know how we did on this hospitality gaff. You know, everything comes right back to ourselves. It comes right back to us, how we function, how we manage ourselves. And with the hospitality sector basically on a standstill, and we have no clue for how long it will be on a standstill, the conversation goes right back to us. Like, how do we now maintain? Because so many persons work within the hospitality sector. So many business persons, entrepreneurs, created businesses to service the hospitality sector. So now with the hospitality sector on a standstill, there's a domino effect. So many persons, so many businesses are affected. So how do we now function as we continue to live while we're waiting for the return or the rehabilitation of our hospitality sector? But we cannot just sit and wait because we don't know how and when it's going to happen. But in the midst of it all, we need to reinvent ourselves. We need to tap in to, hey, I used to be good at that. You know, how can we survive? But at the same time, too, we were able to touch based on the health aspect. We touched based on the work from home from St. Maarten, work from home from Barbados, and even from St. Maarten, like what is needed for something like that to happen, you know? So definitely we touch base on education as well. Education is necessary as well, you know? So Anenda, thank you so much. So much. Before you get on.
And even in that, I just wanted to point out something that we didn't touch on.
Sorry
about that. Even in the education realm, there are innovations and changes happening as well. As we go into the new hospitality year, the new year school year, everything has changed. COVID, hygiene measures have changed. How you approach people, how people are coming here. So even in that, we are noticing and we are working on transformation of understanding what was and what's going to be and what is coming. So, you know, whether we want to or not, the wave of change is happening, and it's happening all around us. So if we're tuned in that, it becomes a catalyst for us to be able to move forward. We have to be willing, again, to want to be part of that wave, because all this again comes down to, and this is where I'm tying in everything together. We started with the question, what was hospitality? And hospitality is to be in service of or to provide service. And in order for us to do that, which is coming before, we have to be in service to ourselves first now and actually honor our highest self. And then we can take care of people. So the age of empathy is here. The age of self-care and self-love is here. The age of taking care that we understand so that we can move on is here. And if we don't grab on that, we're going to be left behind in the age of, I got left behind in this age.
You know, we don't want that. We don't want anyone to be left behind. This is what the Gyhaffin platform is for. We're able to touch each week. Each week we're able to highlight various topics, really dissect them layer by layer. And as you see, we're laid back. Like my hands are up. I'm chilling. But at the same time, we're really.
Y'all have seen my ugly pillow. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
So that we're really engaging, and the idea is to allow this content to contribute towards the upliftment of our people overall. That's the intent of this. We're not just sitting here and chatting, but we're actually, this is the intention. All right. So before Anenda go, just to reiterate again, go to gyhaffin.com, GYHAFFIN, gyhaffin.com. Subscribe, left us your email address, subscribe for our newsletter, keep in contact with us. It's a platform we're really, really building, and we cannot do this without each and every one of you. We cannot do it without each and every one of you. So thank you so much for your continuous support. Again, I will highlight what's happening in Guyana. Man, it's insane. It's, even though it's happening in Guyana, it's replicating throughout our region. It's replicating throughout our world. You know, it's not a joke. People are dying. This morning, Harris Singh, he is a grandson of the suspect, the murder suspect of Isaiah and Joel. So the person who was actually suspected, held accountable for Isaiah and Joel Henry's death, his grandson was killed this morning, right? And Isaiah and Joel Henry, they were butchered. I'm talking about teenagers. One of them was 14 years old, butchered and gutted. It's I cannot find a word to really, what can we say? You know, but it's caused, the death of Isaiah and Joel caused a retaliation from the community. Black, because Joel and Isaiah were blacks, Black Afro. And what I would say to Guyanese is, we are a nation of 6 races. We pride ourselves in 6 races. And it's too far gone in today's day and age. I understand racism exists, but we need to step beyond that and represent ourselves. People might think, oh yeah, but you don't know, you don't understand. I understand representation, and I can understand the retaliation of the last week. It us as a people even more collectively. It destroys us even more, and it destroys our country even more. The safety of every citizen is at stake. Every citizen. All right. My grandmother is there. I have cousins that are there. People that I don't even have to know you, but I'm just asking each and every one of you to be very safe. Be very safe. Be careful. Don't be hype. Oh my God, everybody's born and now let me go too. You might end up being caught in something that you would regret, or you might not even be alive to tell a story. Stay in your homes. Do not get involved in certain things. I'm begging you, just protect yourself, protect your family as much as you can. All right. I'm not there, I know, but I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. It's heart-wrenching. I still have family there. My grandmother lives in Ansgrove. I have family in Maikoni. I have family in Linden. I have family in Berbice in New Amsterdam. All right. So just please protect yourselves. Be very careful and be mindful. Think before you act. Please. We're all responsible for ourselves. Think before you act. My sympathies, my condolences, my everything, my heart pours out to these families whose family were murdered. It's heart-wrenching, man. Really heart-wrenching. Anenda, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining.
My pleasure.
Thank you for sitting with me, gaffing with Keoma. For all our viewers, thank you so much. We really hope this content was very vital for you, that you have a lot of takeaways, and that you're able to use this content to elevate yourself and transcend your mind. All right. Look at it. You're encouraged to look at the live over as many times as you want. You know, we post it on YouTube after, like tonight, it will be up on YouTube. So thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a good week until next week. Bye.